So this is the 2006 GMC Sierra. Gonna swap the evaporator from the air conditioning. I've traced the leak down to the evaporator, so going to do the standard hack to get this out instead of tearing the entire vehicle and dash apart. Pulled the glove compartment out, and to get it out there's 3 bolts and 2 rivets to drill out. Now the glove compartment's gone. I'm going to cut, there's a steel brace here and the plastic, so we're going to cut it, and I'm going to make sure I leave most of it there, but I got to cut it back to here, back to there. So we're going to cut that out, and then the idea is we'll use our multi-tool and cut this box out, and the evaporator slide it out here, hopefully. So we'll find out how this works shortly. I'm going to use my I've got a grinder and a cut-off tool, but I'm just going to zip these off. So there we are. We have the brace out, cut it there with the cut-off grinder, and this big tray, I didn't even bother looking to see if I can unbolt it. I just decided to cut it out and just zip that off with the grinder while I was at it. So we have this whole section here, which is where the evaporator is sitting in that way. So I'm going to get my multi-tool and cut this all the way up through here and back and down the other side. Cut that whole front off, and we'll see how it sits in there when we get that off. So far I'm only into this for 5 minutes, so it's not taking very long at this point. We got about 5 minutes in here so far, and I've got this cut open. My mistake was there's a part that protrudes further than the rest, and I didn't go far enough over, so I have 2 pieces now. I have that I'm going to have to put back together. My plan is to use some sealing tape, which should never come off, so we'll see how that works when I put it together, but I'm going to go unbolt it on the other side. So I've disconnected things here, the accumulator and the hose, the line from the low pressure fitting. It's gone. I pulled it out. So we're going to see what we have to do now to pull this out through the other side. There is a bit of a just foam gasket. You can feel it, so I'm guessing it'll just slide out of there. So I've got it out, and I just want to show you a couple of things that I learned. I could not get it out by taking just the front of that box off. What I had to do was the bottom has to go down. You have to be able to flex this down. So you can see I had to make cuts way back on both sides to be able to push this down probably a good 1/4 inch, because it's hitting something in there. It's hitting these bumps up on the top, and there's no way it would come out unless I could flex that down. So anyway, note to self, you really have to be able to get it down lower, or the whole housing that has the studs is hitting those bumps up on top, and there's no way it'll come out. Anyway, it's out, and we'll go have a look at it. So there's my evaporator, and definitely has a good leak. That's all oil you're seeing on there, and you can see a bit of the green, but when I show the flashlight, the ultraviolet, you can see the green now, the yellow. It's all over the place. So somewhere down here there was a major leak. I'm not sure what's going on here, but there's literally a hole in the side of the fins there, so it's probably something it bumps, but all of this oil is lighting up. You can see now all the green with the dye in it. So that is definitely the source of my leak, and I've been able to, it's got worse and worse. And the last time I recharged it, it only lasted an hour, and after the truck sat for about an hour and I started it, I instantly smelled everything inside, so I knew it was the evaporator. Anyway, we're going to shove the new one in there. So there's pieces here. It's like a rubber isolation just to stop it from bouncing around when it's in place, and these broke off when I was trying to yank it out. I actually broke the front one off. So I'm putting them back in place, and I think because I've got the bottom cut, I can get it back in. And I'm going to use Gorilla Tape. It's sealing tape. If you've ever used this, it's amazing. So I'm going to stick these back on with sealing tape. It only has to hold to get it in. Once it's in place, doesn't matter what the tape does, because it'll be pushed in place by the rubber. So I'm going to do that, try and put it on both sides, and then I may squeeze some foam in after. There we have it. I've got that rubber bumpers back on. Just covered with the sealing tape to hold it in place so I can get it in hopefully, and it'll stay put. We'll see how this goes. So the new evaporator's in, and I will admit with the when I put the rubbers back on, I struggled to get it back in, and I couldn't, and it was continually hitting that bump again at the top and did not want to slide in. So I thought for a minute, and here's what I did. I don't know if you can see that strip of aluminum right here. I have lots of aluminum laying out in the garage, so I cut a strip of that and I laid it on top and pushed it all the way in before I completely pushed in the evaporator. And I'll show you. Like, I should be able to pull this out now. I'm gonna need some pliers because it's in there pretty snug. Yeah, so what I did was I slid that aluminum on top, and then it sort of filled the gaps so that it was like a surface for it to follow going in, and it didn't get caught in the bumps. I'm going to grab it with my vice grips here and pull it out because it is tight just to grab with my hand. It doesn't want to come out. So we'll give this a try. I'll adjust this and I'll pull it out. There you go. So that's what I did. It came out easily now. But by doing it this way, I managed to get it right back in. And you can see it's snug now, just like it was originally, because the rubber is back on top and bottom. So it shouldn't vibrate. So I'm quite happy with that. And I'm going to spend a little time here now sealing up the compartment. But before I do that, I think I'll get the air conditioning working and make sure that's, certainly doesn't leak. But I doubt very much it will. It's brand new. Anyway, so I'm probably into this now about an hour, start to finish. And now I have to connect up the air conditioning. So it'll probably take me a good half hour to an hour to seal everything up the way I want to in here. And once again, I'm going to clean all the surfaces. And if you've never used this stuff, I use it all the time. It's Gorilla sealing tape, it's called, for sealing things up. And you peel the back off, and it's almost like a caulking tape. And I've had this stuff outside for years, and it just is incredible. It doesn't come off. So I see no reason why it shouldn't work on the venting with the plastic instead of trying to glue things. So that's what I'm going to do. So everything's reconnected here. Got the accumulator bolted back down. Everything's tightened up. And again, I can't stress enough how much it was important for me anyway to get that thing in place with the rubber on each end again. I couldn't seem to do it until I slid that flat piece. A thin yardstick or like an aluminum yardstick or something would probably work. You just need something that would fit on top. You might be lucky and get it in. It was no problem to get in before I put the rubber top and bottom. Once I put the rubber top and bottom, I could not slide it back in, even pushing down the bottom as much as I did, and I cut it quite a ways in. Anyway, we're going to pull a vacuum and charge the system up. So there we go. It's all back together. I used the sealing tape and just wiped things with acetone to make sure there was good adhesion, and I don't think that's coming off. It's very solid again. So we're going to continue here and charge it now and get the fan running. So everything's back together. Ice cold right here. I got nice cold air blowing inside. Working really good. Nice cool air. And you can see the tape there where I finished off just that other piece instead of tearing it right out. It was difficult to get at one of the bolts. But it's all back together and working well. And I'm going to say start to finish probably 3 hours to do everything. And again, the trickiest part was just getting that thing to slide out, and then the aluminum trick to get it back in really helped. Anyway, hope this helps somebody else with a 06 GMC or similar. And if you found this useful, please like the video and subscribe. Thanks.